Welcome to Obi-Wan Studios. Today's LEGO Star Wars review is on the 75380 Mos Espa Podrace Diorama. This set released May 1st for $80 as part of the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, as well as the 25th anniversary of The Phantom Menace. The Mos Espa Podrace comes with 718 pieces and the 18 plus branding on the box. The front shows the diorama and has the 25 years of LEGO Star Wars R2-D2 logo on it. Turning to the right side, we have another angle of the set with the 25th anniversary of Episode 1 logo on it. This side highlighting that it is part of the diorama collection as well. Then the back of the box has one final angle of the set with the dimensions and a shot from the Podrace scene in the movie. Alright, it's unboxing time. If you enjoy my reviews and want to support the channel, please leave a like and subscribe. Both of those things really do make a difference in the way YouTube promotes videos and just overall helps my channel grow. Inside the box, we have our instructions manual with a small sticker sheet. Inside the manual, we have a foreword by the creative director Jens and some background info about the scene the set is based on. There's also a page dedicated to the 25 years of LEGO Star Wars with the branding on it. In total, there are 6 numbered bags in the box, then one other small unnumbered bag and 2 16x16 base plates. And here is the completed diorama. Honestly, for $80, this thing is pretty underwhelming. I've heard people say it's 2 microfighters and a wall of sand for 80 bucks, and unfortunately I think that's a pretty fair statement to make. Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike the build, I do think it's pretty cool, but for the price, I am very underwhelmed. On the front we have a little printed LEGO Star Wars plate and then a quote from Episode 1.
Remember, concentrate on the moment. Feel, don't think. Use your instincts.
That, of course, is Qui-Gon Jinn giving Anakin a pep talk before the pod race. I really love that interaction between Qui-Gon and Anakin, and I think it was the perfect quote to put on the front of the set. On the front as well, we have the 25 years of LEGO Star Wars anniversary brick. The placement for it is certainly the best spot, just in front of the larger sand arch. It's not really covering anything up or taking away from the overall aesthetic of the diorama. And speaking of that sand arch, one issue with this set that really makes zero sense is how Sabas Podrace physically cannot fit through it. I just cannot unsee this with the build. It's a really cool concept, but overall rather poorly executed because you just look at it and know there's no way Sabas Podrace was going to have flown through that for Anakin to chase him. It just doesn't make much sense and doesn't look that great. Anakins Podrace looks pretty good overall, I think. The color blocking is pretty nice on this little Podrace build. I like the shaping of the cockpit and the sticker detailing on the sides of it look really sharp, but the cockpit really could have used ones on the top of it as well, as it looks a bit bare on the top side with it just being pretty much all gray. There is a little stud to represent Anakin inside the cockpit flying as Podrace, which is a really cool detail. I like the engines as well, especially with that pink lightsaber blade piece in the middle, just to represent that plasma beam in between the two engines, and the shaping of the engines is pretty solid as well. Overall, his Podrace I think looks rather good. It attaches pretty seamlessly as well to the base of the build with some translucent pieces helping to make it blend in and sit at a bit of an angle. I think that was really cleverly designed the way they incorporated it in to attach to the build. Sabas Podrace I think looks really cool, but one issue I do have with it is that it's just too small. If you compare it to Anakin's, the cockpit of Anakin's is actually bulkier than Sabas, which just should not be the case. Sabas Podrace should tower menacingly over Anakin's, and it just really doesn't. The overall design of it, if you just take the Podrace build on its own, I really do like. The cockpit is shaped nicely, and the engines look very good. I really like the stickers on the engines as well, which help create the correct color blocking on them. And I will say, building the engines though, I found it to be a little bit of a pain getting their shaping to sit actually right, but it does look really good once it's done. Inside the cockpit, there is a little stud as well to represent Sebulba piloting his Podrace, which again, just a really cool detail. Overall, I do like Sebulba's Podrace, but it is just weirdly scaled compared to Anakin's. It's just not the correct aesthetic here when you look at both of them together. Like Anakin's Podrace, Sebulba's attaches to the sand dune floor with some angled translucent pieces, this one connection point being surprisingly strong enough to hold his whole Podrace up, and it does blend in really nicely as well, just like the one for Anakin's. So again, props to the design team for the way they incorporated these stands and supports for the Podrace into the build. And as already mentioned, there is a wall of sand in behind both Podracer builds, just to help kind of complete some of the scenery of Beggar's Canyon. And that's really it when it comes to this diorama. I think diorama sets have one fundamental issue. They are all limited by the sizing of them. They are all the same base size, and I think that does really restrict what you can and cannot do with set concepts and set ideas. A larger $150 diorama of the Podrace would have been so cool, but LEGO just will obviously not make that happen. So as a result, we get these weird scaling issues between both Podracers and then the sand arch of this build, just because they are limited by the size that the set has to be. Overall, I don't think this set is bad, but it is bad value. I don't think anyone should buy this set for $80. LEGO needs to either reduce the price or you just need to wait until LEGO puts it on sale to buy. For like $60, I'd say it would have been a cool display set that calls back to a fan favorite moment of episode 1, but $80 is way too much. Take this into consideration. I spent $220 recently on the 7962 Anakins and Sabas Podrace set. Honestly, even though I paid current market collector's value for that set sealed, I feel like that was a better purchase over this diorama set. I feel a lot better about how I spent that $220 over the $80 that I spent on this set. I just think my money actually went to something that's cooler and looks way better on display. And the set as well comes with some awesome exclusive minifigs. I'm not going to dive into the details on that set though, as I've done a full review on the 7962 Podracers. If you want to check it out in more detail, go watch that video after you're done watching this one. But to me, that set is a way better buy right now at collector's value, market price, every day of the week. Thank you for watching my review on the 75380 Mos Espa Podrace Diorama. If you enjoyed the review and want to support my channel, please like the video and subscribe. As always, don't forget to also check out my YouTube channel for more LEGO Star Wars reviews.